Stress is like a car alarm blaring in our brains, begging us to eat. When did we become so susceptible to poor diets? We live in a world surrounded by convenience, where anything we can ever need or want is just a fingertip away. Processed pleasantries pretending to be healthy items to fill our empty stomachs. The world we live in has made us more prone to developing type 2 diabetes amongst the 34 million who are said to already have it by Wardlaw's Contemporary Nutrition, a Functional Approach by Smith, Colleen, and Spies, the 2023 edition. We all know how an unhealthy lifestyle can take a toll on our bodies, but can greatly contribute to developing type 2 diabetes. Maintaining a healthy lifestyle is a big role in preventing type 2 diabetes. I get caught in the grind a lot of the times, but since taking my nutrition class this semester, I've been more mindful of my lifestyle. Type 2 diabetes is developed mostly from poor lifestyle. Understanding the causes, symptoms, and prevention, we can greatly reduce the risk of developing this chronic disease. So, what causes type 2 diabetes? As stated in my nutrition book, the Wardlaw's Contemporary Nutrition, a Functional Approach by Smith, Colleen, and Spies, the 2023 edition, it is said that after the age of 45, you become more susceptible to developing this chronic disease, but it has become more common in the younger population. Excessive fat in our bodies, and especially on our waistline, it causes a malfunction in our bodies on a cellular level, leading us to become insulin resistant and excess glucose to remain in our bloodstream. An article, Preventive Role of Diet Interventions and Dietary Factors in Type 2 Diabetes Mellitus, published by 6 authors, reveals that we should steer clear of processed foods, processed meats like sausage and bacon, and red meats, as these can be leading causes for developing type 2 diabetes. We need a nutrient-dense diet. Diets aren't the only thing that can cause type 2 diabetes, so let's jump into what else can. A government site, niddk.nih, actually thanks Carmela Evans Molina, a medical doctor, and the University of Indiana for contributing to some research that a sedentary lifestyle is very detrimental to our health and can be a leading cause to type 2 diabetes. And they really emphasize that jobs that require you to sit a lot throughout your day can be a leading cause for developing the chronic disease. Also documented was that an active lifestyle promotes cells to absorb insulin and for our bodies to properly use this glucose, for the insulin to be able to enter our cells and for glucose to be used properly as energy. And some causes are like a leaf blowing in the wind, carried by something out of our control. And when it comes to race, ethnicity, and genetics can also be a cause of type 2 diabetes. I discovered in Wardlaw's Contemporary Nutrition, a Functional Approach by Smith, Colleen, and Spies, the 2023 edition, that Latino, Hispanics, African Americans, Asian Americans, Native Americans, and Pacific Islanders are actually at an increased chance of just their race and ethnicity being a contributing cause of type 2 diabetes. I also read an article in Medline Plus called Type 2 Diabetes that there are 150 DNA variants that can be contributing factors to causing type 2 diabetes. It's mostly the luck of the hand that we're dealt, and it's better to do what we can with what we have that's in our control to defy these odds. Whether it be environmental factors or who we are, let's dive into some symptoms to be aware of when it comes to type 2 diabetes. We really need to pay attention to our bodies and their usual patterns so we can pinpoint when something isn't right. Quiet kidneys keep concerns at bay. At least this is the case when it comes to type 2 diabetes, as frequent urination is one of the symptoms of type 2 diabetes. Our bodies actually try to compensate since insulin isn't present or able to do its job to break down glucose and just excessive glucose remains in the bloodstream, and our body wants to eliminate all that extra glucose somehow, which is urinating frequently. And I discovered this on myclevelandclinic.org, and it's called frequent urination. Frequent urination isn't the only indicator that maybe you want to go get checked for type 2 diabetes. So let's talk about what else to be vigilant about. Unexplained weight loss is like a shadow disappearing in daylight. It shouldn't happen without explanation. The loss of 10 pounds or more without the attempt to do so can be an indicator of that you've developed type 2 diabetes. What you should know about unexplained weight loss and diabetes on the Health Cleveland Clinic website explains the reduction of fat and muscle is quite common in type 2 diabetes because your body is trying to get that energy from somewhere. So since it's not getting it from the glucose, it's going to your fat and muscle to be able to compensate for that. Now that we have a better understanding of the symptoms, let's jump into how we can prevent type 2 diabetes. A healthy, consistent diet is actually one of the biggest things you can do to help prevent type 2 diabetes. A lot of us stress eat. Actually, 3 authors conducted a study, a preventive role in intervention in dietary factors in type 2 diabetes mellitus, and it revealed that high consumption of processed foods and processed meats and sugary beverages are actually leading causes to type 2 diabetes. So just steering clear of those food options and maybe not going with the chips when you're stressed is a good way to help prevent type 2 diabetes. The same study conducted actually emphasized that a Mediterranean diet was very effective in helping prevent type 2 diabetes, so maybe it's time to consider a diet change. It was documented that 30 grams, increase in consumption of 30 grams of whole grains per day actually reduced the risk of getting type 2 diabetes by 13%, about 13%. Sticking to a sensible diet significantly shapes the struggle against type 2 diabetes, but staying steady and staying active is equally essential. As a study shows in American Journal of Preventive Medicine by registered dietitian Albright and Greg with his PhD, at-risk subjects decrease their chances of getting type 2 diabetes by 16 percentage points per year by just staying active. It's actually recommended to be active 150 minutes per week to help prevent type 2 diabetes. It doesn't have to be a vigorous workout, just a brisk walk and staying consistent in your routine. The subjects actually who lost 5 to 7% of their body fat actually dedicated themselves to staying active those 150 minutes per week. They also kept diaries of their exercises, so maybe it's time to consider getting an exercise diary. Considering all the information provided, maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be easily manageable in preventing type 2 diabetes. By gaining insight on the causes, symptoms, and prevention of type 2 diabetes, we've gained a clearer understanding of this chronic disease and how we can do best to avoid becoming amongst the millions who are already said to have this disease. I hope by understanding the causes, pinpointing some of the symptoms, and implementing some prevention in your life against type 2 diabetes, you're able to lead a healthier lifestyle and reduce the risk of developing this chronic disease. As Apostle Paul says, your body is a temple.